Hello everyone, this is Sonia from Smart Moms. Smart Moms is a platform for moms to learn, share and connect. We have a wonderful mom with us today, Vinita, who is a mom of two, and she has also adopted two twins recently. So she's now a mom of four, and congrats to her for that. She is currently the CEO and founder at CEO Council of India, which is India's fastest growing non-startup CEO community. Welcome to Smart Moms, Vinita. And
thank you, Sonia. Thanks very much for having me on your show.
Same here. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. And please share something about yourself and your career and your family before you adopted the twins.
All right, a bit about myself. I am a Bangalorean. I grew up here. I come from a middle-class family. My father was an officer in the railways. My mom was a teacher. And I did my engineering in Mysore. I've been married for 15 years, and I met my husband Mukund during my engineering days. After that, we went to the US. I've lived there for 12 years. And at that point of time, I had a full-time career. I had both my kids, my daughter Trisha, who's 10 years old, my son Rishabh, who's 8. And during that time, I also pursued an MBA. And when we returned back to India, I headed up HP's Software as a Service division for Asia Pacific and Japan. And that was 3 years ago. A year and a half ago, I left HP to start my own company called Social Hues. And so we did a lot of work in the social media space. And also now I've been involved in creating India's largest, most influential CEO community called CEO Council of India.
Oh, that's very impressive. So you had a busy and fulfilling life. And so why did you go ahead with the idea of adopting the twins?
I think I'll go back to my ideological days when I was young, when I felt strongly that I wanted to adopt a child rather than add to India's overpopulation woes. And I felt that, I should be able to give care and love to a child that already exists. And so when I went to the States and I wanted to pursue adoption, it just wasn't easy for me to do because we were non-citizens, and also my husband wasn't completely bought into the idea. So at that point in time, I gave it up, and we had our biological children, Risha and Rishabh. When we returned back to India, and then you're hit again with some of the issues that India is facing, I started to think back and say, why should I not adopt a child now? Why not pursue what I had initially thought I would do? And I couldn't think of a single reason why I shouldn't be doing it. And when I broached it with Mukund, it was actually a very short conversation. He said, yeah, absolutely. So it was something that was driven by, I guess, instinct, something that I wanted to do in the past, and just felt that I should pursue it, and there was no good reason to not do it.
Oh, well, this is a pleasant surprise that you had such a strong conviction at an early age about adoption. Also, I'm very glad to know that you didn't let the constant commotion of life get into the desire, did not affect your desire to adopt. Please share the story of how adopting the children from the time you and your family were prepared to adopt till the children came home.
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, the conversation between Mukund and I was extremely short with respect to our decision to adopt. And I think it was just driven by, we like children, we've had a great time raising our current, the biological ones. And we felt, hey, we're reasonably confident parents, and we have a really loving family and set of friends. So why not give the same kind of environment and love to a few more? So we had, it was a very short conversation that we knew we wanted to adopt. Beyond that, we started to think about, should we adopt two children? Should we adopt one? And I think that was also a quick decision where we felt that because we have two biological children, we should adopt two more. And once we had conviction that we wanted to go ahead, then it was a matter of just finding out the process and understanding what's required on the procedural side, on the legal side to make it happen. with respect to the extended family and, our own children, we felt that if we have conviction, we should be able to convince them that this is a good thing. So that's when we started to talk to our parents, our siblings, and it wasn't that we asked them about it. We said, hey, this is what we're doing. And I think we, deep in our hearts, we knew that they would completely support it. We knew them through and through. So we knew that, once we had our children, and we brought them home, that they would be completely behind the decision and they wouldn't treat them any different from our own biological children. So we had that conviction. We also knew we had the support of our extended family. And the conversations with my children actually were most interesting, because I asked them, hey, would you like to have more siblings? And I think the natural instinct on all of those is, yeah, we want more. we want to outnumber you guys, right? So of course they were really excited about having more siblings at home, and my daughter was extremely practical about it. She said, hey, if you get me 2 girls, that would be awesome, because I can hang out with them. If you bring me 2 boys, then Rishabh's out of my hair. That's even better. And if you get me a girl and a boy, that's ideal. We each have company. My son was a little more defined in his needs, and he said, hey, don't get me 2 girls. Just make sure there's at least 1 boy that I can hang out with. But of course, when these things happen, you don't really control the whole process. Even though we had initially indicated that we would like a girl and a boy, there were 2 girls that were found, and the adoption coordination agency then approached us and said, would you like to go and meet these twin girls? I took my son along at that time, and the minute he saw them, he instantly said, yeah, let's take them home.
Yeah, Vinita, so whom did you consult, ask for consent within the family, and whom did you consult for the adoption?
Yeah. So we didn't ask for consent within the family or even an immediate extended family, only because we felt that we had great conviction in what we were going to do. The intent was right, and we knew we would get the support of the family when it happened. We just didn't want any negativity to seep in to the decision that we made. But we did ask for advice from people who had adopted. I have a very close friend of mine. She was a roommate in my engineering days, and she adopted 2 children. Had some other friends that all had done the same. So we talked to them very briefly, to find out about the procedure, but we also knew, because we had observed, we had interacted with these families, that the overall experience was really good. So the work that we did was more in terms of identifying really, what was the procedure that we needed to follow, how do we go about doing it, and how do we ensure that the overall experience is good.
Okay. So, did you find out about the adoption agency? Did you try to search it, or was it recommended to you by the friends and family?
Yeah, so I did some searches on my own, and I also talked to people who had adopted children. Okay. Like I said, these are mostly friends who had done it. Okay. And they gave us some advice, and then we made some decisions on our own. The main 2 things that were different was, one, that we were thinking of adopting older children, and all those that we knew had adopted babies. And the second was that we felt that we didn't really want to wait too long, because our family, my kids were already 10 and 8 years old, so we didn't want to wait too long, and we wanted to see if we can make the adoption happen as quickly as possible. So those are slightly different requirements that we felt we had as compared to some of the other parents that we knew who had adopted children. We had heard also from well-wishers. They said, hey, the nurturing process is extremely important, and the child develops their personality in the formative years. So maybe you should reconsider getting children that are younger than older, right? So at that point in time, we did think about it. We talked a little amongst ourselves, and we felt for our family it was appropriate to see if we can bring in little older children, just because we couldn't handle babies, and the age difference between our kids and the babies would be a lot, and the bonding that we would want to have between them may or may not happen. So what was appropriate for our family was to have older children. I also thought back personally and thought about my own earliest memories, right? And I felt that I couldn't remember anything that happened in my first 5 years. So I said, okay, let's assume that we can make new memories for kids that are 5 and about 5 or so, and hopefully that will erase anything that maybe something that they don't want to remember that might have happened in their younger days. So we felt quite comfortable asking for kids that were a little older. We said, anywhere in the 3 to 5 years range. Okay. And we felt that would be perfect for our family. Okay, but it was slightly different requirement and different advice that we also got from friends and family who had done adoption in the past.
Yeah. Yes. So how was the reaction from everyone after the adoption, and how did that affect you?
Okay, so the kids that we adopted, they're 6 years old now. Yeah. Okay, their names are Rajeshwari and Maheshwari, and I think we'll be calling them Tara and Richa. They have been amazing, enduring, very sweet, enduring kids. We picked them up about a month ago from the orphanage, and within a few hours they were calling us mom and dad. Now, I mean, of course it's easy to say that they're labels, right? Right now they're labels for us, but I think over time they will definitely understand the deeper meaning to these words. What has been amazing is that how well they've accepted the entire family. They've not asked us even once to go back to the convent. We've already started to see bonding between them and our older children. And it's been a fantastic experience for all of us. I think both ways, I'm sure that it's a new experience for the kids, but an amazingly cathartic experience for us as well.
Okay. So how has your understanding of motherhood changed after you have adopted children?
So I've always had this conviction that, I've always felt that bonding typically happens over time. And, although I'm sure that some feel strongly about the love at first sight or an instant bond that happens between people, for me, it's always been, the more I know the person, the more I share experiences, the more intimate moments you have, the love grows. Yeah. And that's what I've always felt. And even with my own kids, the minute I had them, I wasn't the mom who was moved to tears and, felt that instant bond. In fact, I was in pain, and I was someone who was like, oh my God, this is what I have to go through to have a baby. And it was hard. There's postpartum depression, all sorts of things. Yeah. But as you start to share experiences with your children, the bond develops, and that's what I felt with my own. So with this as well, with both these children, I think our experiences being parents haven't changed. We've kind of felt, what we felt with our older children is what we're feeling now with the younger ones as well, with the twins. We feel the same bond. We feel that those moments that we're sharing is slowly increasing the togetherness in the family, and it's, I think, going to be a fantastic journey for everyone.
Yes, truly. And are you preparing yourself for any challenges that may come up in the future, like some rivalry or misunderstanding between siblings?
Yeah. So absolutely. I mean, these kind of things, the challenges that you're talking about exist even in families where you have only biological children. Yeah. We felt it with our own children. There is sibling rivalry. There are times when they hate each other, and there are times when they really love each other. So, the parents